news. Martin McKenna is amateur astronomer and storm chaser and has the website nightskyhunter.com and has been chasing a storm on Sunday which ended up in Derry, and he joins us on the programme. Hi Martin.
How you doing, and thanks very much for having me on the show.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure because it's very, very interesting. So I would have associated storm chasing with Middle America or some other area, but it happens here in this country too.
It certainly does. Sometimes it can be a long wait, but when it happens, it's usually pretty good and worth going after.
Because I mean, obviously we get heavy rain and you hear the odd crack of thunder and maybe the odd flash of lightning. But to me anyway, living where I do, you know, proper, what you would call a proper storm, they're few and far between.
That's correct. We don't really have the really humid, warm air mass needed to get these really massive storms you get in other countries, but at the same time, this country can really produce the goods when the right kind of setups there. If anybody's interested in storms will know about wind shear and things like that. This country can be very capable of producing a lot of strong wind shear during the summer and autumn months, and if it does, you always have a chance of getting some really intense showers, even a brief severe thunderstorm in the right location. But the trick is to get there and be there at the right time and the right place to catch it.
So how did you achieve that on Sunday? Do you follow weather maps, weather patterns? Do you look for certain criteria that you think, right, a storm could form here?
Absolutely, yeah. I had that day on mine for the 4 days before. It was on the weather models. I do my own forecasting, and I was ready since 8:30 that morning. And I was up and checking the radar, checking the satellite images, etc., and getting on the road. I actually started off in Dungannon that day and ended up spending about 7.5 hours on the road. I was with my fiance, and we ended up going up to the mountains in Derry, around Brada, near the Gibbon, and that's where the initial storm fire that actually erupted over that mountain travelled north. We chased after it and headed up towards Coleraine and eventually to Ballycastle area where done damage, destroyed our bridge from the flooding. So it was a pretty cool storm.
And did you realise its potential from early on in that day?
Well, the potential was there for storms. The thing was they could form pretty much anywhere in the country, so it's very hit and miss. You know, you can never really tell, you know, where they're going to happen. But whenever we were in Cookstown, we could see, in a clear day, if a storm is developing, there's blue sky, you'll see these updraft towers going up, they look like cauliflowers, tall cauliflowers. Well, we've seen these going up in the distance, and that's always a sign that something's developing. So we headed west up the Sperrins towards it, and we caught it. It looked really good. There was actually rotation underneath it, very, very dark clouds, and I just knew it was going to do something. I didn't need radar, you know, we could see it. Just had to keep following it.
And what do you do when you're following it? Are you taking pictures? Are you taking video? Why would you actually follow it?
Well, I'm a photographer. I love severe weather and I love dramatic clouds. So for me, it's the photography and the video. It's at the right place at the right time. The sun's correct. You get the right kind of storm. You know, for a nice foreground, it can be a really dramatic and stunning image. You know, so for me, that's my drive. And anyway, I want to get dramatic images and great video to document these cool storms when they happen.
And then you put it up on nightskyhunter.com. You've also allowed us to use a couple of these shots of lightning that you got in Derry. This is like streak lightning, is it?
This is actually called cloud-to-ground lightning, or CG lightning, the storm chasers call it. Others have known as fork lightning, is the most dangerous kind there is. That was an accidental catch, actually. We were chasing that storm. It was producing torrential rain. We're located outside Garba, heading north towards Coleraine, and I just happened to switch on my dash cam. I have a camera mounted inside my van facing out the window. I just turned it on, and about 2 seconds later, these two bolts struck the ground right in front of me. One on one side of the road and the next on the other side. They're a really cool catch. Actually, it made the day for me. Yeah, brilliant.
I'd say. And so what's the difference then? You've described that then, but maybe what we'd be more familiar with would be sort of the flash of white in the sky, but you don't see the forks necessarily. Is that just because it's a distance away, or is that a different type of lightning?
It's a different type of lightning. There's various types of lightning, but that would be the most common. The one you described is called in-cloud lightning, or IC for short. The kind that we seen was cloud-to-ground lightning, or CG lightning, or fork lightning. So CGs are the dangerous ones. The other kind are within clouds. Sometimes you get them coming out the back of the storm, called cloud-to-air, or cloud-to-cloud. There's various kinds, but the CGs are the dangerous kind.
Indeed. Now, the good thing about most people effectively carrying a camera around with them now, we see loads of these pictures and quite a lot of these funnels around Donegal, obviously not exclusive to here. What causes those? You know, the funnel from the ground up, it looks like a mini tornado.
That's correct, yeah. Actually, there was a very nice one caught in Donegal that very same day, a beautiful capture. Those are called, or well wind convergence. We get winds from different directions meeting, perhaps over like a lock coming off the sea or up a mountain. And you get the area, the two wind directions meeting, they cause rotation, and it draws down these funnels from the storm.
And are those funnels? Sorry, Martin. Are those funnels drawing up from the ground as well? Would they lift anything?
Well, they're fairly weak, but some occasion you'll get some kind of surface contact. Maybe something lifted aloft. They're pretty weak, but at the same time, they can turn into tornadoes very quickly. You don't need to see the funnel going to the ground for it to be on contact with the ground, because part of the funnel can be invisible, the condensation funnel. So they are important to report, and if you see them, it's worth checking out the area underneath just in case there's been contact. Okay,
nightskyhunter.com is your website, Martin. You mentioned the weather. What's the weather for the weekend? Have you had a look at the forecast?
Not too much chances in the way of storms anyway, but slightly cooler and a little bit unsettled, but not too bad maybe for Saturday.
Not too much rain?
Next week.
What about rain?
There might be some rain in the later half of the weekend, but I tend to wean off the forecast whenever there's no chance of storms.
You're so selfish, man.
I look for clear skies for the night sky stuff, the night sky.
All right, well, hopefully we'll chat again. That's Martin McKenna, who's an amateur astronomer and a storm chaser as well. His website there is nightskyhunter.com, and we have a couple of pictures of his pictures up on our Facebook page /Shaun Doherty Show. That's Wednesday, Shaun Doherty Show with me, Greg Hughes.